Huh? Ask your friend. I won't ask her name, but ask her. She will tell you, you write us when you're Polish. Hasn't she told you that?
Many particles are moving on to have Nina not say something. Shahi, what about you?
So I'm thinking a lot about and, I mean, with logic and spontaneity, and I personally believe that we could have got much further as a nation if we had thought about both at the same time. So the way I think about this is plan what you can and be as thoughtful as you can, be as logical as you can, and at the same time never forget to listen to your heart and be willing to be flexible and spontaneous on the way. So I think that's the way that I've tried to navigate the two. How do you hold the two together at the same time? How do you keep in mind the goal, but then really prioritize the process of getting there at the same time?
You know, I have a theory on logic, actually. I often tell people that for many people, the logic is always for not doing something. You know, doers never look for a logic. Like many people come and say that, sir, we want to do this, but our parents are not aligned, our teachers are not doing this, we go to the slum, they don't want to teach, study and all that. So I obviously ask one question, just to take the clue from the professor. I often ask them that, do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? Most of the people say yes, these days. And then you ask a very basic question that if you want to marry, what do? Do you leave in between with a logic? Or you come to a logical end? So how can you say that I am not able to do this because this one is saying this? You have to have that passion. It's very simple. And all kind of illogical things you do to come to a logical end in that case.
Anything about what she would have said here?
The next question that we have.
We've been talking a lot about belief, and often all of you have gone against what most people believe. Either this is the belief of a good job, or this is a good life, or whatever that might have been the logical decision that you would have made. What is the one belief that each of you hold on to that most people disagree with? What is that one? And any thoughts of whether, like for instance, Anshu might say that it really does not. I will hold on to it at the cost of everything. So what's the cost you might pay for a belief that you have that others, and especially people close to you? I can imagine people, neighbors, etc., not believing. But has it been that you've held on very firmly to belief that maybe your really near loved ones might have disagreed?
So neighbors I am not worried because neighbors hardly know.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. But I personally feel, maybe because of the background of the upbringing and the story which I just shared with you, the real life story, one thing which is very dear to me is the basic honesty. And it's very tough. It's extremely tough for us because if you talk about our work, our stories are emotional, but our work is hardcore logistics. And logistics is nothing but a very good amount of
Corruption.
No. So I think that has been a very tough journey. When you say no to bribe, when you say in every single step, because you work pan-India and the roads are the biggest source of corruption, right, from the local police to anybody, to the borders and everything. But I think we have learned our way. We have learned that even the moment we pay a single penny, we are gone. And I think a lot of strength personally I have derived from my personal life, the way I have grown up in the family. Many people in the group have grown up. That is something at any cost in my life, I will stick there.
But has Lily had other things? I mean to say, yeah, Anshu, isme to thoda gheel do na.
No, I think Mini means Meenakshi, my wife. talking about. I think she has been a big, not only the supporter, she has been the backbone. I think she is the only person who is there for last many years after leaving to BTC and all, and she does not even take a single penny from gold. But she's a full-time, silent backbone somewhere. And I do derive a lot of strength from her, to be honest.
First, a small response to what Anil just said, because it reminded me of a quote I read in 1968. There was a mirror I used to have in my room in the hostel, which was broken. So I don't throw anything, I'm a waste collector. So I kept the frame with me and put that quote. And the quote was, and it is stated, every day I will read it. Fortitude is the capacity to say no when the world wants to hear yes. And from, I later discovered that at that time internet was not there, so it was not easy to find where the quote is from. Many years later, 30, 40 years later, I discovered that this was my from. I married later, that all. And that fortitudinous capacity to be yourself and to be able to stand against all the tides of time and the pressures of those whom you love a lot, which sometimes can become a weakness, and to be able to stand up and say, look, that is the limit. Beyond that, then you lose, my belief. Wins and you lose. But more than that, let me give you an example. Kiran is here. Many years ago, he came to invite me for a talk. So I went there. He was at the time a student in an IT student. So before I went, I asked him, look, I'm a Shylock, I want my pound of flesh. That's one of my fundamental beliefs, that I'm a Shylock. So he said, what do you need? I said, give me 5,000 projects put together. So he gave me 5,000 projects in 15 days. I said, now I have to go. So I went there and he said, what next? I said, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. Today we have in TechTedia.in 200,000 engineering projects done by 750,000 students. Without any permission from University Grants Commission, without any permission from AICTE, in fact in many cases without permission from the Vice Chancellor of those universities. It's very subversive work. But the subversive work has happened because we wanted no student of our country should do what has been done before. How do you ensure to put originality as a value in society? So you must have a database of what has been done before. India is a large country. So we started with this possibility. It looks crazy that you will be able to build a database of 1 million students who pass out from technology every year. You will be able to build a database, persuade each one of them to put their projects. Today, students from all colleges, NITs, IITs, small colleges, they all believe that yes, it is something useful because now students will find it very difficult to do something which has been done already. So to remove trivia out of our life, to be repetitive, to be just one more, to be a number, to be a commodity, is not what makes individuals what they are. So I'm sure that in Riverside and through this movement that is one of the spirit that you're trying to propagate. And I really admire that spirit, that you can, no matter how small the action is. So once we had a student from Gandhinagar, a small college, grew. All of you must be using refrigerator at your home. And you know that refrigerator also produces heat in the compressor. Is there any company in the world which has made a refrigerator which uses the heat of the compressor? No. Neither in US nor in Europe. Our Prime Minister is there. You should ask that question to Obama. Do you talk about saving energy? You want to reduce global warming? Refrigerators produce so much of heat. Have you ever thought about it? This boy, bro, put a heat exchanger around the compressor, took heat away, made a hot chamber on the refrigerator. Now you can keep your food warm. And because the compressor, the heat has been taken away, compressor has to work less, so it lasts longer and consume less energy. So you consume less energy and get more output. You get cold chamber and you get a hot chamber, and with 18% saving of energy. This is what Indian model of frugal innovation is all about.
It's like what ISRO just now done.
But I felt very sad, and I'm going to name the paper, Times of India, had the temerity to call it Jugaad. Shame on it. Shame on it. Shame on it. When a reading newspaper of our country uses a term which is a mindset of adjustment, of adaptation to a problem, not getting over it, but going around it. That mindset will never let any society go forward. And this jugaad mentality is what I will tell all of you. Please never, never, never fall for it. That is what has kept this country. We live with this, trash on the roads, no care for the elderly. All these problems are a result of a jugaad mentality. When plug would not fit to the point, we give it a push. That is jugaad. Or put a matchstick with a wire to put the two wires in the electrical connection. That is jugaad. So I am firmly of the belief that never, never, never make this as a national culture or a value. Don't ever promote this value. This is a terrible mistake by a lady intellectual who has used this word to patronize. Written on the mark of the jugaad, shame, really shame. It makes me very angry when I find you can see that. I just can't resist saying this because beliefs make a big difference to our worldview. If you believe in this, then no matter what you do, you will have edges on the machines, on the walls, on the sinks, where the sink will not be fitting with the wall. There will be a small space where dust will gather. You must have observed it, even in a 5-star hotel. Why can't we make that precision as a culture of our society? So if we want precision as a value for our culture, give me 1 minute more, I'll tell you some story. One student came to me, and he said, sir, I want to do a project. I said, all right. He came from Manchester. So I said, go and talk to welders. Because I am very cut up with the fact that in my institute, IIA, the fencing that we use, the grill that we use, iron grill, the welding has been done with a lot of material on each joint, and a lot of edges have been left unrounded. They get hurt. I don't like this. How can I go to my class to teach excellence when I go through a fence which is dirty, which is shabby? No, you can't teach excellence when you look around yourself and find mediocrity. You understand the point? As a teacher, it's a very painful thing because it haunts me. Then it haunts me, I can't concentrate in my class. So if I have to concentrate, then I have to find an answer. So he went and looked around and talked to welders. We had a meeting in faculty lounge in 11 of these welders once he had done the study. And I asked them, why can't you make things precise? He said, you know what, sir? We measure things in inches, not in millimeters. So 2.54, the difference is already there. He said when people decide to give us orders, they will take 3 months